Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, and I'll bring you all the action here for our GT4 action here once again for the penultimate round of the season here at Zandvoort. Not Zandvoort, sorry, that was the round before, here at Zolder. They both begin with Z, but yes, we are here live at Zolder for the penultimate round of the championship. And as you can see, not a massive grid here this evening. Sadly, not a lot of drivers not able to make it here this evening, but it is going to possibly come down to only 2 drivers probably after tonight, and all in different manufactured cars as well. But as you can see at the top already, it's quite close between Skunky High and Kieran O'Reilly, 2 drivers who came in this season. Sorry, two drivers that have come in the mid part of the season and ended up just absolutely destroying each round, but both of them are looking pretty close here in the practice session this evening. Let's have a quick run through of the championship standings, shall we? As I shall get that on the board. So, as it stands at the minute, it is Matthew Duffin who is leading the way. Yes, Matthew Duffin leading the way ahead of Jamal Clouden in second place. So Jamal looking very strong in 2 championships, and he could possibly look good here this evening as well. Sky Shundermeyer sitting in third in the championship, with Richard Beasley 4th, not here tonight, nor is the 5th man of Tim Venting, nor is 6th place of Max Mulder. So they're pretty much done for the season, and well, I say done for the season, they're pretty much done in the championship, and will not be able to win it after this evening. SVM Burbeck sitting in 7th, with 8th going the way of L. Holling, and Raiden sitting in 9th, with Barrett in 10th place position. Then it comes Sam in 11th, with Senna in 12th, 13th is Gary Leach, 14th is Skunky High, 15th is Darren Bell, 16th is Kieran O'Reilly, 17th is DJ Phil. And then it's the start of the people who can't win the championship. It is John Goudet in 18th, with Croupiers in 19th, 20th is Nuclear Waste, 21st is Ian Gray, 22nd is Kimberly, 23rd is Diz, 24th is Michael, and in 25th is Cardoff, and bringing up the rear is Dean Wasocki. Those are your championship standings. As we get rid of the championship standings, we will then see what it does for the ballast. So going into Zolder, we have it should have been Matthew Duffin with the full weight, but I don't think this has been updated correctly. So yeah, we'll ignore that. That's not really gone to plan there. But it would be Matthew Duffin carrying the full 40 kilos, with Jamal Clouden carrying the 35 kilos. 30 kilos would have been Sky Shundermeyer. 25 would have been Beasley. 20 kg would have been Tim Venting. 15 Max Mulder. 10 SVM Burbeck, and 5 for Holling. And as we can see, the weight is doing a bit of work here. As you can see, Matthew Duffin just struggling with pace at the minute, with 2 Janettas at the top, and Jamal Clouden also struggling. But this gives Sky Shundermeyer a great opportunity in the championship standings. Reminder again that this has come down to the end of the championship. We've had 10 amazing rounds already this season. We started things off at Snetterton, then the Red Bull Ring, and then headed back to the UK for Brands Hatch. 4th round of the championship was at Circuit Americas. Then we ended up in Indianapolis, then Paul Ricard. Laguna Seca for the summer. 8th was Hungaroring. 9th was Watkins Glen, and we've just done Zandvoort for round 10, and we are live here at Zolder for round 11, and then into Valencia for the season finale. Another new circuit that we don't often get to go and see very often, like we did at Kyle army, it's nice to have a completely odd circuit to finish the season off, and Valencia is definitely going to be a cracking race. Obviously, coming to the end of the season, it definitely gives a chance for us to look at possibly getting a new calendar up to date. And this is where the Patreon support comes into play. If you happily support us in the Patreons, obviously you get all these wonderful benefits from being a Patreon, but also as well, you will also be able to select a track for next season as well, or being a suggestion towards a future track for next season. So we'll see what options that people come up with, but we will be going through all of that very soon. But if you do want to be a Patreon, then obviously it's all on our Discord as well. But a quick chat of Zolder, as we've only got a couple of minutes left of this practice session. Zolder in Belgium. The current events that it holds at the minute is the ETRC, which is the Belgian Truck Grand Prix, with NASCAR Euro Series coming here as well. The 24 Hours of Zolder, an interesting one, and TCR Europe come here as well. Obviously, Formula One have been here in the past, back in 1973 to 75, to then 1982 as well, and then 1984 was its last race. Obviously, the World Touring Cars have been here as well, DTM and many others. W Series also racing here as well. The circuit is 4.0 kilometers long, or in miles that is 2.4 miles long. It consists of 10 corners, and a lap record is actually held by Sebastian Bourdais with a champ car lap time in 2007 of a 1:14.0. And obviously, we're only going to be focusing primarily on GT3s, which the lap record was a 27.2, which was Nico Miller in an Audi RA Evo. So, and that was back in Zolder DTM round 2021. But that is the fastest lap time in a GT3. It has also hosted so many other events as well, but obviously it's primarily known for having the F1 around here as well, mainly the touring cars as well. Good evening, Ben, Fury's granddad, PN, and everyone else in the chat. Nice to see you all in the chat. And the other events to this circuit as also held is the UCI Road World Championships. It's held it twice, back in 1969 and in 2002. It's also hosted the UCI Cyclocross World Championships in 1970, 2002 and 2016, and then hosted the BMX World Championships back in 2015, and then returned again in 2019. Obviously, the BMX circuit is actually located in the middle of the circuit. So a little extra bit of knowledge for you around this Zolder circuit. And as you can see, most cars are in the pits. We've only got 12 here this evening, which is a bit of a shame, but we will make do with what we have got. And that's a quick rundown of Zolder for you. And if you haven't done so, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. And also, while you're at it as well, head down into the description below and you'll see our fantastic sponsors at the bottom there. Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much more, including SimPlay merchandise. Head over to their Facebook page. And also there's Audio Sport, manufacturers of Volkswagen Transporter, T4 audio solutions and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk and on their Facebook as well. Right, so we're into the final, penultimate round of the season, and it's pretty much down to 3. It is going to be between Matthew Duffin, Jamal Clouden and Sky Shundermeyer. And it looks like Matt has, we're on board with Matt. He's currently in pit lane, I believe. So we'll go on board with, I want to go on board with a car. Jamal Clouden's, we've been on Jamal quite a lot this season. We'll take a lap with DJ Phil, why not? As he goes, it sounds like he's gone very wide. So we'll take you a lap around this fantastic circuit here at Zolder. as DJ Phil makes a bit of a mess of the final corner, but without making a mess of the final corner, you want to get a good exit and a good drive, and then head down towards turn at number 1, going as fast as you can down towards the first corner. Left-hander braking just before the bridge and try and get that front to turn in and touch the apex. Then get a good exit and then head up towards turn number 2. Just brake it before the promotional bollard on the side. Getting a good run through turn 2 into turn 3, all pretty much one swooping corner. A right-hander, then going into turn 4. In the GT3s, you don't want to drop down a gear, you want to stay in 4th, but in the GT4s, I have no idea, dropping 3rd is probably the best thing to do. Through 4 we go into 5 and 6, the tricky chicane. And we brake just at the 100-meter board. Into 5 and 6 we go. The Chevy can abuse these curves, as DJ Phil demonstrates beautifully. Through 5 and 6, over the crest of technically turn 7, and then heading down towards 8 and 9 and 10. 7, 8, and then into a 9. Then heading up towards turn 10. Getting a lovely exit up the hill, and then heading down towards the hairpin. Just braking on that dark patch, dropping down to first gear, get the front to turn in and get a good exit. Then going through this kind of silly chicane that's not really anything important. Heading then down into the final chicane and making sure you get a good run through the chicane, braking at the dark patch, drop down, possibly staying in second, get a good run through the chicane. And that is a lap around Zolder with DJ Phil. So thank you, DJ Phil, for the lap. And as you can see, Skunky High still leading the way at the minute with Kieran O'Reilly in second, Barrett sitting in third. No wait for him this time, and that Mercedes will be very good in a straight line. Sky Shundemeyer fourth at the minute with Jamal Cloud in fifth, Sam in sixth, Nuclear Waste is 7th, Matthew Duffin in 8th, 9th is S2M Burbex, 10th is Holling, Raiden is in 11th, and DJ Phil are bringing up the rear. So obviously, guys, we will be going into a little bit of a break after this championship. Yeah, a little bit of a break into this championship, but keep an eye out for a GT7 event that we'll be doing in the off-season, and just a little bit of practice and testing for guys, as we'll be introducing the BOP system next season. So a lot of guys will be practicing new cars, new setups, and seeing what they can do. Excuse me. So let's see you guys in the chat. Who do you think is going to be looking good for this championship? Obviously Matthew Duffin leading the way, and it's really just Sky and Jamal Clouden really going to be holding him up in this championship. Obviously the race, this first race is going to be a reverse grid, so we'll see Skunky High and probably Kieran O'Reilly looking very good early on. They're probably going to be fighting for the race win, but it is all going to be down to who can be the best overall. Good evening all, and best of luck to all the drivers. Get that ballast for next week, says Micro J's for PN, and PN could have success ballast. He could end up in the top 10 by the end of the season. Top 8, I mean, top 8. But it's Kieran O'Reilly, the only car on track with DJ Phil as well. Looks like a car has returned to the track. I believe it is Matthew Duffin, your championship leader. Only won one race this season. And with the beauty of the ballast system is, I do want to stress, a lot of drivers and a lot of people don't quite understand the kind of aspect of the ballast. The idea is to stop the championship contenders destroying the championship and winning races every week. Is to give the guys another chance to win races. Obviously we've had a lot of drivers come into the championship, which means that they will be unbalanced, but unless they won't win the championship. DJ Phil running a bit wide there as Matthew Duffin goes through. Echo GT, good evening Dan, and wish all the GT4s a good race. That is Michael Echo, the very fast Echo, who's also looking quite good for a good points end to the championship in the pro category. But nonetheless, the admins and myself and some of the stewards as well will be coming together and trying to sort out a calendar for next season. As do have a chance, you guys, to put in the suggestions what you want to see in the next season. So guys, if you do want to see something different next season, or you want to make some points to the championship, then feel free to go into the suggestions feedback. And also, guys, if you are currently watching and you want to be a part of the action next season, then feel free to head over to our Discord and our sim grid and get yourself signed up and a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. There's only going to be 12 cars this evening, but it's going to be still fast and dramatic, as GT4s are always like. But we've got 20-minute races, only 2, and they're just going to be flat out from lights to flag. But it would be interesting to see some circuits next season. Let's see you guys in the chat. What would you love to see on the track, on the calendar next season? I have a particular circuit that I would like to see back on the calendar. It's not been around for a while. See if anyone agrees with me. But we're not talking about the Nordschleife. We're unlikely going to do the Nordschleife just because of the fact it doesn't really work as a racing track. Great for endurance racing, so it might pop up in the endurance calendar. But there is still the Endurance Championship that is still going on as well. And the next round of the championship, if I load up my Discord and find out exactly what that is, it is... It is then Spa 4 hours, which will be the 21st of September, so plenty of time for you guys to get some practice in as well and get yourself a nice little setup, get some teams sorted as well. So there's a fun event that we'll be looking forward to as well. So we got an endurance race coming up, and we got a GT7 event as well, which, please guys, if you want to be a part of that, we do our own Nations Cup. Myself and Hypertech get together and make up some liveries and have a bit of fun with it. It is just a good laugh, so if you do have Gran Turismo 7, please get it downloaded, and we'll have a good laugh on it. That's the whole point. We have some very basic cars, just nothing crazy, and it's quite easy to earn some cash on the game as well. So yeah, get yourself prepared and ready for that, because that's going to be a laugh. I believe Fury and Sky Schundelmeyer are the only ones to win the Nations Cup. So maybe you guys could be the next Nations Cup. I believe it was under Switzerland was Sky Schundelmeyer, and I believe Australia was Fury CBK. So if you do want to be a part of that, then feel free to, once it goes up live, then get yourself involved, or let me know so we can get as many drivers and numbers as we possibly can and get liveries sorted, because Hypertech does actually do a lot of effort and put your name, your number and everything on the car. They look fabulous, and I think we're looking at using the Volkswagen Scirocco touring car for that. So yeah, as we're about to get underway for this first race here, the first 20-minute race, we've got Nuclear Waste on pole position with DJ Phil starting in second, Kieran O'Reilly in third with Skunky High in fourth. Sam's going to start fifth with Barrett in sixth. Then you got Raiden in seventh, Holling in eighth. Ninth is S2 and Borobex. 10th will be Sky Schundelmeyer. And in 11th place will be Clouden. And bringing up the rear is Matthew Duffin. And away we go. So like I said, guys, feel free to message in the chat. I'm going to get a poll up for race 1 winner. But yeah, obviously the one I'm interested to know is, if you were to have the calendar and you had a choice of what circuit you would like to see, what would you put on the calendar? If I get a couple of comments, I'll tell people what my option would be. You only get one choice. As like I said, guys, I'm just currently doing a poll for you to get yourselves voting on who you think is going to win this. Oh God, no, that didn't go to plan. Didn't mean just do 2. Fantastic. It's a bit hard to commentate and do all this as well, but we're going with it. We're going with it. So a reminder as well, there's pretty much only 2 left, 3 in this championship, and that is Matthew Duffin, who is your championship leader, Sky Shundermeyer, and also Thomas Marshall. DJ Phil needs a win. He does need a win. It would be great to see DJ Phil with a win. Anything can happen, for sure. But he's going to have a lot of pressure from the guys behind. And if you haven't done so as well, guys, head over to our Instagram and TikTok as well and get involved in that, as we try and post as much as we can, mainly of results and events. And yeah, and if you want as well, tag us in your events, whatever you're doing outside of SimPlay. It'd be nice to see what the other drivers are doing. And there's a poll gone out now as they all get into formation, and get yourself voting on who you think is going to win this race. Coming up to the line now, one vote already for DJ Phil. As they're into the final chicane, it is Nuclear Waste with DJ Phil alongside him, Aston Martin and Chevy on the front row. But all eyes are on the guys at the back of the pack. Duffin, Clouden, Shundermeyer. Will Sky come from the back and work his way forward? We shall see, as we're about to go green here at Zolder for the first time this week here for the GT4s. And we are green and go here at Zolder as we head down towards turn number 1, and they already fan out as they go into turn number 1. We'll drop to a car further behind. We go aboard with Raiden, and already started to get swamped by cars around, and Duffin pushes Holling his way through as the top 3 in the championship work their way forward, as Barrett now is on the move on Sam as they head up towards the first couple of corners. Nuclear Waste though with a brilliant start. Skunky High meanwhile has got up to second already, and DJ Phil already being a bit of a mobile chicane with Kieran O'Reilly right behind. Then it's Sam just behind them as well, and Kieran O'Reilly's going for the move on the outside going into the chicane. This should be sketchy, as this chicane tends to take people out quite often and they break into the chicane. But the GT4 should handle the chicane relatively well. It's the GT3s that will see a lot of bouncing. But Raider jumping to the back of the pack already, but Nuclear Waste already got a lot of work on his hands because he's got Skunky High right behind him. But Nuclear Waste having to go straight on. Meanwhile, Barrett has got pressure from Duffin, and Duffin goes around the outside, then gets the inside and the outside again. So Clouden's now trying to go around the outside. So championship leader has already cleared his 2 championship rivals and is moving his way forward. DJ Phil already dropping to 5th place position now behind Sam, as Nuclear Waste is now coming under some more pressure from both Janettas of Skunky High and there's Barrett off as well. So Barrett's had another moment and has got caught up in all the melee. So Nuclear Waste from Skunky High, from Kieran O'Reilly, then it is Sam and DJ Phil. Then Matthew Duffin's dropped down the order. It's then Sky Shundermeyer who's moved up, but he's straight line the chicane by the list of things, and that's going to allow Jamal Clouden to get on the back of him. The BMW should be quite good round here with a straight line advantage as well, so we'll see if Clouden can do anything with that. But S2M Burbeck's now ahead of Duffin and ahead of Holling. Barrett though dropping to the back of the pack. We look back to the front though, as we've got the Aston Martin of Nuclear Waste trying to defend from Skunky High, and Kieran O'Reilly's now starting to go on the back as Skunky High sets fastest lap of the race. Those Janettas are going to be fighting all night long, I think, as they come up to the chicane once again. And 2 minutes have already gone in this race, 20-minute race, so it's fast paced as well. So Nuclear Waste not the best exit there, and that's going to allow Skunky High a great opportunity to go around the outside, but it hasn't quite got the grunt. That's the problem with the Janetta. It's very good in the corners but struggles on the straights, and Nuclear Waste though making it quite easy for Skunky High there, and through he goes. Now he's going to hold up Kieran O'Reilly, and Kieran O'Reilly would like to make sure that he clears him as quickly as possible so he can get onto the back of Skunky. What else is going on as well? Further back, DJ Phil has become a bit of a mobile chicane for Clouden and Sky Shundermeyer. Matt's cleared the rest of the guys, but he's cleared S2M Burbeck's. But Sky already sending it up the inside of DJ Phil. And DJ Phil, I think, has gone wide. And no, he hasn't. He's managed to stay on circuit. And here comes Jamal Clouden up the inside of DJ Phil. Is he going to get the job done? Yes, he is. And DJ Phil goes off track and into the gravel. That's another car cleared for Jamal Clouden, and sticking with Sky Shundermeyer as DJ Phil all over the dirt and gravel. but he's managed to get going again. Nuclear Waste, though, still holding up Kieran O'Reilly. So what can Kieran O'Reilly do here? Sam's now starting to creep onto the back of these two as well, as Nuclear Waste starts to hold him up ever so much. And his fellow FBR driver, and it's sad not to see many more FBR boys. Would love to see a bit more of them come back to the championship, hopefully in the winter. Obviously summer is not really the best time for us to go racing because everyone wants to go out and enjoy the weather, but nonetheless, hopefully a lot of drivers will return back in the winter. October is the time we're looking at redoing the championship. But Kieran O'Reilly, though, still can't find a way past on the Aston Martin as Sky Schneidermeyer and Clouden start to work their way to the front once again. Kieran O'Reilly get really close to the back of the Aston Martin, and once again Nuclear Waste has to go straight on, and that is going to be a lap time infringement there. As we go into the back end of the circuit now, Kieran O'Reilly once again sticks the nose out but can't find a way through. Is he going to look to the chicane? He needed a good slipstream here to try and get past the Aston Martin if he possibly can, but can't find a way through at the minute. Gets really close to the back of the Aston, and while this is all going on, Sam is getting closer and closer. There is Kieran O'Reilly going down the straight, skunky high with clean air. Now fastest lap to his name. Sky and Clouden have pretty much dropped Matt, so now they really need to start catching to the guys in front and start scoring some decent points on them, while everyone else is pretty much spread out. Kieran O'Reilly once again right on the rear wing of the Aston Martin of Waste, and Nuclear Waste has gone wide. That's going to throw an opportunity for O'Reilly, and he doesn't even need to get it done in the chicane. He's got the job done already before the chicane, and now it's Sam's turn to have a go. Both running the exact same livery, so that makes my life 10 times easier to figure out which is which. But into the chicane they go. And Sam now wants to clear his fellow FBR driver so that he can focus on trying to stick with O'Reilly, because Sky, Schneidermeyer and Clouden are catching them pretty quickly at this stage of the race. But Duffin's got no answer at the minute. With all that weight on board the Ginetta, he hasn't got really any answer to the guys in front. And again, it's just a pointsy point at this championship. He just needs to gain the points. He's got a 15-point gap over Clouden in this race, so if anything he probably wants to go into the final race of the season without being in the lead, because then who have the less weight and more likely to try and score some points at Valencia. But Skunky High sets the fastest lap and leads the way. Nuclear Waste still in third with Sam in fourth. Sky is now on the back of him. Joining them is Clouden. Duffin, though, not a million miles away. He's there just in case he pick up the pieces. You got S2 and Burbex, then it's Holling and Barrett. So Barrett's had a very good comeback already, clearing the two cars behind. He's going to be looking to the inside of turn one. That Mercedes engine very much helping him through there, and job done for Barrett, and through he goes. Raiden not quite on the pace of these guys, nor is DJ Phil, who are at the back of the pack. Sam now under some pressure from Sky Schneidermeyer. And here comes Sky, aka Mr. Tibbles, trying to get a great run through the chicane by the BSP Racing crew, and can't seem to find a way through on Sam at the minute. Sam just losing out to Nuclear Waste at the minute. Majority of you reckon that DJ Phil is going to win this race. I doubt that's going to happen in his position right now, but anything can happen. Most of the time it does happen. But Sam, though, still hanging in there against Sky. He goes very defensive straight away, and Sky has to go to the outside, maybe try and get the undercut. And Sam's gone deep, and that's exactly what Sky wanted, and he'll get the run through. It's going to be a bit tricky for both of them to get through the chicane, but they have managed to do so, and Sky goes to block him off straight away and take the inside. Sky with a little bit of damage to the front end of his car as well, so possibly contact with another car. Matt doesn't seem to have any damage. He was in front of these guys, so I wasn't sure if maybe he made contact with Duffin. I'm not sure. But either way, Sky up to fourth now, looking to try and hunt down the leaders. O'Reilly now, fastest lap of the race, and he started to catch Skunky High. So this is going to be an interesting fight for the lead. Sky Schondermeyer, meanwhile, has cleared Sam, and Clouden now is on the move, and he looks to try and go up the inside, and just going with Sky at the minute. Sky's got a lot of work to do, and he's doing all the work now to try and win this championship. He's been close or there or thereabouts in the GT4s, and he really wants to win this championship here today. Obviously, it won't be decided today, apologies. It'll be decided at Valencia. But as they go through the middle sector now, Clouden can't find a way through on Sam at the minute, and Sky Schondermeyer's already caught onto the back of Nuclear Waste. But your top two, meanwhile, separated by 2.5, and I think O'Reilly is bringing that gap down pretty quickly. So we could still have a fight for the win on this one, and it's going to be very, very close between these two towards the end of the race. As we see there, Nuclear Waste is running a little bit wide, and that's allowed Sky Schondermeyer to get the job done before the chicane, and he's done both FBR boys, and I doubt he'll get any further than that, but that's still more points than what Clouden and Duffin are scoring, so exactly what Sky needs to be doing right now.
We are halfway through, keep pushing.
And we are now halfway through this race, so you know what that means. That's the end of the pole. And again, majority of you reckon that DJ Phil will win this race, and I think it's going to be unlikely, but yeah. Oh, Duffin look like he's sliding in turn two. That weight probably in the wrong position of the car, and probably unsettling it as well. Meanwhile, Skunky High goes into the chicane, and he's actually gapped O'Reilly a little bit here, as he bounces over that curb, as does O'Reilly, so no fear on the curb. And now we've got Nuclear Waste and Sam fighting one another. Oh, and Clouden's missed his brakes. He's gone straight on, and this is what's allowed Duffin to gain another position there, a free position for Duffin. And Jamal Clouden getting a little bit too close to the back of the FBR boys and has caught him out. Really hanging that thing sideways. But Sky at the minute seems to have got the championship in hand at the minute. He's going to be scoring some points as long as Duffin can't clear the two FBR boys of Nuclear Waste and Sam. They're going to be an interesting part of this championship. And into the chicane they go. So Sky crossing the line, not really on the pace of the leaders, but that's obviously due to the weight. But Sam and Nuclear Waste fighting at the minute, and Duffin's actually dropped off the back of him. He's not been able to stick with them, and obviously, again, that's probably the weight kicking in right now. And through the first sector they go. Nuclear Waste driving quite well, actually. He's keeping Sam behind him. Only lost out to the Ginettas and Sky Schondermeyer, who all three have looked very quick in these GT4s. But here they come down into the chicane. Sam looking at sending it in the chicane, but he's not quite far enough alongside. And bouncing over the curb, Sam's got the job done, and Nuclear Waste conceding the place to his FBR friend and allowing him through. And Sam now could try and pull away from Matthew Duffin and Jamal Clouden, who's now onto the scene. And once again, that BMW looking mighty here in a straight line. And again, the top two just ebbing and flowing at this stage. Down into the chicane they go. Bouncing through the chicane over the curbs. And this has really been your fight. into the first couple corners they go again. And right now, Duffin's now on the scene. He's got to be cautious here. He's got to be careful that he doesn't make contact with any of the cars. He wants to control this race. He wants to be able to take some good points here. He doesn't want to end up making contact with cars that are really not in his fight. And again, the two Aston Martins looking at one another. So even though Sam has gone, Sam has gone into the lead. He's the lead of this group. He's not really pulled away. He's ended up being stuck in that fight. But he's now starting to edge away as Matthew Duffin starts to give. Oh, he has a big tank slapper there. A big tank slapper there for Matthew Duffin, and he's looking more and more menacing. But as I said, he's actually lost time to Clouden, and Clouden's on the rear of him. He couldn't be any further up the back of him if he tried. So right now, Matt trying to do everything he possibly can to stay ahead of his championship rival. He would have loved to have outscored him, but Jamal Clouden going around the outside of turn one and can't get the job done there. And has to stay in formation. Meanwhile, your top two, not really much change between them. If anything, Skunky High has pulled away. And once again, Duffin's starting to become a little bit more under pressure from Jamal Clouden. Fastest lap at the minute going the way of Kieran O'Reilly. And once again, Sam's just lost out to his FBR friend of Nuclear Waste, who's just behind him. Barrett's even catching this gobble of cars as well. So if they keep racing too hard, they're going to lose out to Barrett. And there goes Nuclear Waste. He runs a little bit wide. And Skunky High's at a moment. It's Kieran O'Reilly who leads this race, ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer now. So what has happened to Skunky High? He's dropped to third. Maybe he's at a moment on his own, but Kieran O'Reilly leads the way at this stage of this race. Then we go to this four-way fight. So going into the last 3.5 minutes, it is O'Reilly leading the way from Schundelmeyer, from High, from Sam in fourth. Then it's Nuclear Waste, Duffin, Clouden, and Barrett in 8th place position. Let's see if he's actually gained any time bit by bit. Then it's Burbex in that 9th place position. Holling in 10th. 11th is Raiden, and at the back of the pack is DJ Phil Green. But Skunky High possibly making a mistake somewhere and allowing Schundelmeyer to score some more points, and that is going to make big changes to the championship. So obviously I'm going to be trying to keep an eye on what goes on in this race regarding points as much as I possibly can, to keep an eye on where we are in the championship standings. But this is your main fight at the minute, and Duffin's still under some immense pressure from Clouden, who looks left and right and can't find a way through at this stage. He just needs the door opening ever so slightly. Meanwhile, Skunky High is giving Sky Schundelmeyer a bit of a headache, a bit of something to think about. And at the minute, can't find a way through. Can Skunky High? Oh, Skunky High's hit the wall, so he's made another mistake, and that's going to allow Sam, Nuclear Waste, and Duffin and all of them to gain onto the back of him with damage. Barrett now is just within sight as well, so he's starting to creep into this fight. But Sam looking to gain some points on Skunky High here. And Matthew Duffin's gone wide. He's going to keep his foot pinned to the floor, though, to try and keep ahead of his championship rival. And he's just going to do so. He's going to try and brave it around the outside. He does so, and Clouden gives him just enough room, and so does Matt, giving him space and respect. Great racing from those two. And oh, this is turned upside down. Matt is under some immense pressure here at this stage. So at this stage, Jamal Clouden, if it finishes where it is now, Jamal Clouden and Sky Schondermeyer will be level on points and still 18 points behind Matthew Duffin. So Matt would actually gain points in the championship right now. As there, we see Clouden make a sniff of an opportunity. But what's going to make Clouden more nervous is Barrett is coming onto the scene. And I'm pressing buttons that I shouldn't be pressing. But O'Reilly starts his final lap here. Into the final few corners. Here you go, Sky Schondermeyer in a solid second place at the minute. Can Skunky High hold on to that third? Sam in fourth, trying to hunt him down. Nuclear Waste in fifth. And Duffin defending for his life against Clouden. That's all he's got to worry about is Clouden and Sky. But going into this second to last race, going into the second race, Sky has put himself very much back into this championship fight with that second place to his name at the minute. Clouden, though, has made a mistake and has lost his threat to Duffin. So now Matt can possibly just hang in there. I don't think much is going to change. If anything, it's going to be between Skunky High and Sam, because Skunky is clearly struggling with that car. Over the chicane they go, damage to the car. Matt could possibly try and attack Waste right at the end, but he has to be clever about his fight. He needs to be clever about this championship. Is it really worth attacking one car to possibly lose multiple positions? Yes, it is still the first race, Ian. But O'Reilly, not the best start for him. He was stuck behind DJ Phil for a bit, but he's managed to work his way to the front. It says fastest lap, and he will come through to race one and finish in first place position. O'Reilly comes towards the line now and wins the first race here at Zolder. Congratulations to him. In second place is your championship contender, Sky Schondermeyer, and brings a massive gap down in the championship. Sky is going to finish in second place and looks very happy with that one. It is then Skunky High who's going to hang in there for that final position on the podium. Third place for him. Sam is going to finish in fourth. Then it's going to be Nuclear Waste, then Duffin, then it's Jamal Clouden. Barrett just catches him at the end with S2M Burbex coming up behind in 9th place position. And then it is going to be Holling in that 10th place position. Raiden is going to finish in 11th, and DJ Phil down in 12th place position. Matt's trying to do the standings, and there's me already done it for him. So yeah, Matt, if you are listening, you don't need to worry about it. I've already popped the places into position, so you don't have to worry. But that was race one done, and it has gone the way of O'Reilly. So congratulations to him, and he takes the win there. And Sky Schondermeyer, though, big race for him, though. He brings that gap down in the championship. And it is going to be very, very close. We are now going to go off to a quick break, but we'll be back in a few moments' time as we will bring race two as well. So we'll see you just after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. And nice to see in the chat as well is Tracy here supporting his her boy as always. His. I'm getting. It's been a long season, okay? Nice to see Tracy in the chat. And oh boy, is it going to be hotting up in this championship. Sky, after a fantastic race one, has allowed himself to bring himself back into this championship fight. Here is the championship standings after that race. It is Matthew Duffin who still leads the way in the championship, gains ever so slightly ahead of Jamal Clouden. It is now only 18 points separating, with Matthew Duffin sitting on 359 points, with Clouden and Sky Shundermeyer both sitting on 341 points. Both of them 18 points behind Matt in the championship. So it's going to be interesting as they go into this final race. Who is going to be leading and carrying full ballast going into Valencia? That is the question. Richard Beasley pretty much going to be out of the championship, as will Tim Ventink and Max Mulder after this one. It's down to Esteban Borobex to try and catch him as well. He's currently 7th in the championship, with Holling still mathematically in it, but is unlikely to stay in the championship come Valencia. Then it's Sam in 9th place, with Raiden in 10th. He's in that top 10, and he's not a million miles away from getting into the top 8 to get himself some ballast at Valencia. It's getting close to that one. Barrett currently in 11th place in the championship. O'Reilly's got himself up into 12th, with Skunky High in 13th place position, with DJ Phil sitting in 14th place. Then it is Gary Leach in 15th. 16th goes the way of Bell, and 17th is Nuclear Waste. 18th is Goudet, and 19th is Croupiers. And then it is, I'm going to try and figure my maths out, 20th is then in Kimberley, because obviously these are all written weirdly, and 21st is Diz, 22nd is Michael, 22nd is Cardoff, 23rd is Wasaki, and that is your GT4 standings. But it is pretty close between the top 3 in the championship. He did a fantastic job. Now, can he take that pole position? That is the question. Esteban Borobex currently in the pits still. But we will be keeping an eye on Sky. That is going to be an invalid lap time, but I believe it was Skunky High who was first out on track. It was, and is O'Reilly still? Yeah, O'Reilly's still in this session. Sounds like a car in front. That was Holling just in front of Skunky High, so maybe the Porsche of Holling getting a lap time first. No, it will be Skunky High. To the line he comes, and he sets the pace of a 36.8. What has Duffin got in the tank? He's 1.8 off the pace as it stands. Sounds like a Mercedes-Benz. No, it sounded like, I'm not sure what it was that was coming through. It was an Aston Martin of Sky Shundermeyer. No lap time to his name. To 2 FBR boys once again in that race. Looking quite strong. Hopefully Sam can get a good lap time, and he does so. Jamal Clouden also goes within a second of Skunky High. Raiden now towards the line, and that will be his one and only lap. He tends to just do one lap, and that is it. He won't come back out. And Barrett goes into the line, and he now goes up into 3rd place. And obviously the championship contenders will fall further and further down with that weight on board. O'Reilly in 10th position at the minute, with no lap time on the board. Towards the line he comes. Any improve? Oh well, what place does this put him? No lap time on the board, nor DJ Phil. So Hollings then the next car on a lap, I believe, unless that's the car going towards the line now. That is Nuclear Waste. Was this a lap time? Yes, it was. He goes into 6th place as it stands at the minute. Matthew Duffin probably breathing a sigh of relief that there's not another car in front of him, but it's Holling next towards the line. But he's got Matthew Duffin coming up behind him, and Matthew allows him to go through. So Skunky High then back to the top. I know Matthew is on an improved lap time at the minute. Skunky High, no improvement at the minute. Matthew Duffin, is he going to improve? He does. A couple of hundreds, but not, sorry, a couple of tenths actually, and it puts him up into 3rd place position, exactly where he needs to be. Where is the next car? It is Jamal Clouden, who's currently a second off the pace. I believe this is an invalid lap for him as well. So it is Sam, who's then next on a lap, and it is valid. Jamal Clouden towards the line, no improvement, invalid lap. Sam doesn't improve and stays where he is, We then look to Barrett in the 876 Mercedes-Benz. Really probably wants to get a win to his name, so he's going to try everything he possibly can and gets within 9/10 of Skunky High, pushing the championship contenders further down. As Skunky High drives into the pits, where is Sky? Still not a lap time on the board for him. As O'Reilly now coming towards the line, is he now going to set fastest lap and put himself on pole position? Not quite, he's 7/10 off the pace. DJ Phil gets on the board and goes into 8th, and we're still waiting for a lap time from Holling as well. But Skunky High coming back out on track. Who is that coming to the line? That was Nuclear Waste, and he goes up to 6th. So at the minute, Sky Shondameyer got a lot of work to do at the minute. He's in the far end of the circuit. He needs to get a lap time at least on the board. I believe Matt is then the next car to come to the line. Yes, he is. Into the chicane he comes. And he's got Holling behind him as well, who's on a valid lap. So Holling will get a lap time on the board. Crossing the line now, Matthew Duffin does improve, gets within a 10th of Clouden, but not enough to go ahead of him, and Holling drops into 9th place position. Where is Sky? There he is. He's not on another valid lap. He's pushed too hard. Clouden now, can he get some daylight between him and Duffin? And I believe he's got Sam right behind him as well. Clouden to the line, no improvement. Sam does improve and pushes them further back. So Sam finding that time. Here comes Barrett now. Can he get closer to Skunky High? He does. He gets within 2/10 of Skunky High. So the Mercedes-Benz looking good here in Barrett's hands. As we're now starting to come to the end of the session, and still Sky Shondameyer not putting a lap time together. The 74 of O'Reilly goes fastest overall and takes provisional pole at the minute. And now Skunky High has to respond. No improvement there for him. DJ Phil, no improvement either. Who's next on a valid lap? I believe it was... Not sure who it was, but it is Raiden now coming to the line. He's in an invalid lap, so he's come back out. That's surprising me. It was the 55, or would have been the 55 of Matthew Duffin. But it's now Holling who's coming to the line. Into the chicane he goes. And can Holling improve on his lap time and get himself ahead of DJ Phil? To the line he comes. No improvement for himself. So at the minute, it is still Janetta Power at the front. O'Reilly leading the way from Skunky High, from Barrett, who's in pit lane at the minute. Sam's in the pits. Clouden's on track. Duffin is on track. Waste is in the pits. Green on track. Holling. And just as I see, Sky finally gets a lap time on the board, and it is 4th place. So more of a chance for him to go into this race and gain more points on his championship contenders. Reminder, guys, there is a point for fastest lap as well, for pole position. So at the minute, O'Reilly will get that pole position. But Jamal Clouden to the line. It is not a valid lap. I think who's on the next valid lap? Sorry, Skunky High has gone fastest now. So he does improve. Where I'm thinking they're not on a valid lap, they actually are. So Duffin might be on a valid lap here. As will be Raiden. Into the chicane they go. Goes Raiden. He exits the final corner. 5 minutes left of this session. Crossing the line now. No improvement. Where is Duffin? Next to come to the line. As cars are improving, Clouden and Duffin are falling further and further away from Sky. And no improvement there for Duffin. We look to the number 3 of Holling. Can he get himself ahead of DJ Phil? Yes, he does, and puts himself into 9th place position. Then we got Sky on another lap. Going through the chicane at the minute. Currently a 2nd off the pace. Can he get a little bit closer? He gets within 7/10 of the pole, carrying quite a bit of ballast on board as well. So good lap time there from Sky. Now we look once again to Jamal Clouden into the chicane. And again, I don't think this is another valid lap. He's really putting himself in a difficult position here with Clouden. Coming to the line now. And does improve. Sorry, he was on a valid lap. That puts him into 5th place position, 8 tenths off the best. And there's a car now between Clouden and Duffin. Probably Matthew is not panicking too much about that. He'll be not too concerned, because obviously he may want to go to Valencia with less weight. Obviously a lot more work to do, but he'll have less weight on the car and preferably will be quicker at Valencia. But Raiden all over the curb and off track as well, so that will definitely be an invalid lap time for him. Meanwhile, Duffin comes into the chicane, and I don't think he's on an improvement. I've got his stream up here, and no, he's not going to improve on this one. So it's all about getting that lap tidied up. He's got 3 minutes and 20 to go. I don't think Barrett can improve. That's why he stayed in pit lane. And we now look to O'Reilly, currently on a lap. And it's backed off a little bit there, so I think he's trying to give himself some space between him and DJ Phil. So now we look to Jamal Clouden coming into the final few sectors here. Really wants to do as much as he possibly can here to try and bring that gap down in the championship. This is probably going to be also Matt's last run. He's looking like he's got low fuel, so it's going to be this, or he comes in now and he gets out straight away. But towards the line now, Jamal Clouden. Is he going to improve? No improve. He does improve and goes ahead of Sky. So Sky now drops behind Clouden. Clouden back into the pole position seat in the championship. Barrett, meanwhile, has returned back on track, as has Skunky High. He is going to be the next one on a lap. And I'm trying to keep up to date with who is where. Matt is still currently up on his time. He's 2 tenths. But he's invalidated it as well. So I don't really see if Matt's going to improve. He might be able to get one more lap out of this. Skunky High, no improvement there. There is Duffin on an invalid lap time. He crosses the line and he'll start his final lap here. Holland in the pits. It is then DJ Phil, and I believe just behind DJ Phil is O'Reilly. There is O'Reilly. So O'Reilly will be getting a little bit of a slipstream at the minute from the back of the Camaro. And a big hole that Camaro makes. And O'Reilly's pitted. He's into the pits. He is done for qualifying. He will not get back out. It is now down to your championship contenders. Can anybody take Skunky High off the top table? Clouden into the chicane now. Out of the final corner he goes. Jamal Clouden is not on an improvement. And Sky doesn't improve either. We now look to Barrett, who was next on a lap. Does he improve? No improvement for Barrett. And then it is then the 3:02 of Skunky High, who's looking to improve his lap time as well. And Jamal Clouden's back in the pits and watching Sky. I know that for sure. He's watching Sky to see if he improves. But a man to keep an eye on is Duffin. When we get prepared and ready for the next race, I'll explain the weight and the ballast for you, Tracy, as we go into the final preparation. But Matthew Duffin now to the line. And he does not improve. He's going to start 7th at the minute, unless anyone else can improve. Everyone else is in the pits except for Barrett and Skunky High. So it's between Barrett and Skunky High now. And Barrett is then the first car to come to the line. into the hairpin he goes. He needs to tidy this all up if he wants to get pole position here. And Skunky High has pitted. And into the pit, and into the pits he does come. I thought he was going to go and complete his lap, but it is Skunky High on pole position here. He will take the pole position point from O'Reilly, from Barrett, from Clouden, from Sky Shondemeyer, from Sam, from Duffin, from Waste, from Holling, Green, Raiden, and Barabex with a qualifying ban to his neck. And that is your grid order. And like I said, Skunky High taking that extra point. I'm not sure how we do it for... Yeah. That's not really helping me out, so I'll leave that for now. Yeah, Skunky High taking that pole position and that extra point in that championship fight. So basically, Tracy, how this works is obviously what we have or used to have in the UK. We used to run the British Touring Car Championship, and the British Touring Cars are your everyday road cars from BMWs to Ford Focuses and so on and so forth. And obviously, to help with making the racing more fair and even, they used to put what was called success ballast onto cars, so adding weight to cars to slow them down. Obviously, the heavier the weight, the slower the car will be. And in a sense, we've done the same here with ACC. If you're leading the championship, you will go into a round with maximum ballast that we can put on the car. In this case, it is 40 kilos. Now, to put that into perspective, on average, I think that's probably about just like half the weight of an average person. So 40 kilos, so imagine half of yourself next to you in the car. That's going to be a little bit more weight put down onto the track. And then obviously it will go down by 5 kilos. So Matt, in this case, is championship leader. He has 40 kilos on board to slow him down. And then we put 35 kilos on the next car, which is Jamal Clouden. Then third is 30 kilos for Sky Shondemeyer and Sextra, etc. So that is how the ballast works. It's basically to slow the faster guys down to bring other drivers an opportunity to win the championship. Normally, what you would do then after race one is then add it to what race positions they finished in. But we can't just reset the server like that, so it just stays on the championship contender pretty much throughout the entire night. So Matt is at a disadvantage tonight. He's got 40 kilos extra on top of his car. And if he overfuels the car as well, that's more weight added to the car. So being precise on fuel is key in this one as well. You want your car as light as possible so it could be as quick as possible. And when you add that success ballast, that's obviously then going to hurt you a lot more. I hope that makes sense. So obviously, if they go into the final round of the championship, they're going to be carrying that extra weight. Just think of it like you tend to use a lot more fuel. You tend to be a lot slower when if you have your normal road car and you fill it up with bags, and you fill it up with like if you're going traveling, you fill it up with cars, you fill it up with bags and clothing and everything. The car's going to get heavier, it's going to get slower, and also it's going to go and use a lot more fuel. Pretty much the same concept in this case. They're going to be a lot slower as O'Reilly's hit the wall. Fantastic for him. But with that in mind, we'll keep an eye on how the championship contenders do, because with that weight on board, it's going to be tricky to catch the two Ginettas at the front, but anything can happen. They're going to have their own fight and possibly get into trouble. We saw Skunky High pretty much had the race underhand and still made a mistake, so we'll see what happens there. But as all the drivers now get themselves prepared and ready to go, they will now get himself in a 2x2 formation, and as you can see, Matt's trying to get some desperate temperature into his tyres. It is the penultimate round of the season for the GT4s. Round 10 of the season, race 2. And who is it going to be? It is the two Ginettas on the front row, Skunky High and O'Reilly, as they go down the main straight. Round 10 of the season. It's green and underway, and everyone gets away with no penalties to their name, and a great start from Skunky High, already clearing O'Reilly straight away. Any scuffling in the back? No, as Matt has already done Sam straight away, and is straight onto the back of Sky Schundelmeyer, who's already looking up the inside of Barrett, who's had a terrible start and gotten swamped by Cloud and Sky, and possibly Duffin as well. Duffin not wanting to lose too many places here, as Barrett goes back ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer briefly, as Sky is still alongside here as they head down towards the chicane. Clouden, you can see with that weight on board, is just a little bit slow in a straight line, and is under some pressure from Barrett, who's going to send it up the inside into the chicane. And through he goes. No, he doesn't, and that's allowing the two Ginettas to disappear. But Clouden really holding up the pack here at the minute, and Sky and Barrett makes contact. Sky does not want to be making contact with cars. He's got a great opportunity to win this title, and Barrett gets tapped by Matt there and just goes unsettled. And Barrett now dropping down the order. He's into the FBR squabble of Sam and Nuclear Waste. Borobex has already cleared Raiden as they go into the hairpin. Relatively clean first lap, but still Skunky High leads the way from O'Reilly, who's straight onto the back of him. Clouden from Schundelmeyer, from Duffin, from Sam, from Barrett, from Waste, from Holling, from Green, from Assetto and Borobex, and Raiden at the back of the pack. But it's Skunky High, fastest lap straight away, obviously, because he set the first lap here. Can he now pull away and keep it clean ahead of O'Reilly? Now, it is going to be a good fight here between the top three in the championship, and they want to try and gain as many points as they possibly can. But they've also got to play it strategically and try and make sure they do not have too much weight going into the final race at Valencia. Meanwhile, Barrett is coming under some pressure from Nuclear Waste and Sam in a FBR sandwich at this stage. And O'Reilly already feeling his presence onto the back of Skunky High. The two Ginettas starting to eke their way from the rest of the pack, but Clouden still keeping up with them. And Duffin just got one eye on his championship contenders at the minute. I forgot to put a poll up for race 2 winner. I'll do that really quickly. But we've got Skunky leading the way still. And now Sky is really starting to put some pressure on the back of Clouden. And as you can see, there Sky has had a run. O'Reilly set the fastest lap of the race as well, which is important. And Sky's got the inside going into turn 1, but Clouden with the straight line advantage stops him from getting through. And Matthew Duffin just sitting and watching. He gets right onto the back of him as well. So as these two are too busy fighting one another, it has allowed Duffin to get right onto the back of him. Now down the back straight, there you go. Clouden want to do everything he possibly can to try and keep this championship lead, or take the championship lead going into Valencia. The BMW is going to be very strong in a straight line down there, but obviously the corners is where it's going to lose out. Very fast flowing corners. Meanwhile, O'Reilly and Skunky High are pulled away here at Zolder, and it's really been about these two Ginettas all night, and Skunky High and O'Reilly pushing the limits there. Once again, Clouden just being a bit of the cork in the bottle at the minute and just holding up the rest of the pack. But like I said, maybe some of these drivers are looking not to try and take the lead of the championship. Clouden is trying to get as many points as he possibly can, so there's a little bit of a buffer going into the final race. And obviously points means prizes, and every point does matter, no matter what it is. Even though you want to carry less weight, it probably will be better to have possibly more points rather than weight. And Sky now looking for any opportunity to come through, as all three of these cars have got very unique characteristics and how they work. Meanwhile, Skunky High and O'Reilly, that gap still stayed quite similar at the minute, 6/10. This is your main fight, and Sam is stuck with him. Barrett's not a million miles away, and everyone else pretty much falling into formation there. DJ Phil having a strong race in P10 at the minute. 50-50 going away between, I believe, Skunky, oh no, Schundelmeyer and O'Reilly. But here you can see Clouden bouncing over the curb there. That's giving Sky a great run here. And he's going to look to the inside of the chicane. But Clouden, with that straight line advantage from the BMW, manages to hold him off. Sam now is looking interested, but Sky still can't find a way through at this stage. A fantastic fight. We saw these two going at it at Zandvoort, and Clouden is just trying to close every door that's been opened by Sky, and Sky gone a little bit deep. Duffin though right up behind them, but you can see Duffin does not really want to get past them, but he's got Sam behind him now. Sam is going to be looking interested. Oh yeah, the racing was fantastic. Well, mine or the guys here, because the GT4s were phenomenal last time. Meanwhile, Skunky High and O'Reilly are within the 10th of each other. O'Reilly's got the pace now, right on the rear wing of Skunky High now. And obviously Jabal Clouden's got a whole train behind him. We'll go back to O'Reilly and Skunky, because these two are going at it for the win here. And Skunky looking to hold on to this lead. He dropped it in the first race. No, Riley wants another race win to his name. Sky Schundelmeyer has got Clouden. Not sure where he done that, but Clouden gets back up the inside and gets the job done. Clouden's gone off. Duffin capitalize on all that. And they're going to go 3 wide to the chicane. Clouden rightly backs off, and Sky Schundelmeyer and Duffin go side by side. And Duffin's very laggy, possibly because of Sky, and also I've been disconnected. So hang on guys, I'll be with you momentarily. Not sure why I've been disconnected. Fantastic. And yeah, sorry about that. A few of the drivers there got disconnected by the looks of things. And Jamal Clouden's been disconnected. As has Holling, as has Raiden. But Sky Schundelmeyer now ahead of Duffin. And once again, the server has caused issues here. And Jamal Clouden is going to lose out here. Sky Schundelmeyer and Duffin are going to be an advantage here. Sadly not there. We've lost 3 drivers in that race. So Skunky Eye O'Reilly leading the way still, with Schundelmeyer in 3rd, Duffin in 4th, Sam in 5th. Nuclear Waste is 6th, and Barrett in 7th now. Esteban Burbex in 8th. DJ Phil in 9th, and Clouden's in the pits, as is Holling and Raiden. It was set up brilliantly for a great race here, but sadly, it is taking it away here. Matt's had a massive moment there, nearly dropping it. But Clouden here, oh, you gotta feel for Clouden. And I believe I'm gonna get more like bad server quality once again. And I'm and possibly might be dropped out once again. Has DJ Phil gone now? No, DJ Phil is still going. But the server causing problems here. But Skunky High and O'Reilly still pulling away. Schundelmeyer, though, is going to be in the box seat here.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
We are at the halfway stage. And like I said, sadly, this has taken away the great fight we were hoping for. Matt saying reset. Well, I have no idea what to do now. I will be talking to the admin team quickly. Well, it looks like some of the drivers and the admin team are wanting a reset. It was 25% of the group, and I think by the sounds of things, we're going to go to a reset. I could really do with my admin team really telling me what's going on. But I think possibly going into a reset so Clouding can get back in. Obviously, we lost 25% of the group. But at this rate at the minute, it is O'Reilly. I think we need to start looking into getting a plan in place. This. Right, right, apologies guys, I will get back with you momentarily. We will be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and apologies for the confusion and wait. We are back online. A few of the drivers choosing not to return for the final race. That's their decision at the end of the day, but nonetheless, we will go racing without them. We do have 10 cars still racing here this evening, and more importantly, we still have our championship contenders as well, still in this server. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that it all should be running perfectly fine this time around. I do want to urge, though, to drivers who did get disconnected. This is all obviously primarily set up so that we can keep this championship fight alive. We'll do one reset. If it doesn't work after this, then we will call it that as well. I know it was only a short race, but nonetheless, it was only fair to do it once. If it goes off again, that is it. That will be the result, full stop. So I mean, if it was in their situation, it'd be a lot different. They'd be begging us to reset the server. So either way, we're about to get back underway here, racing again. It is O'Reilly this time. Skunky hasn't decided to return back, nor has Nuclear Waste. Those guys have decided not to race for this one. So we will get things back underway in a few moments' time. And obviously, I would urge as well for the GT4 guys, for the final round of the season, if you are in the GT4 championship, then get yourselves back in for the final race of the season. Let's make it a fun one to end the season off. But O'Reilly this time will start on pole position with Barrett on the front row with him, with Clouden, Schundelmeyer, Sam. Then it is Duffin, Harling, Green, Raiden, and S2M Bex. As we now get ourselves ready to go for the final race this evening. Once again, all I can do is apologize for the disconnection. Obviously, since the incident back all the way at Circuit of the Americas in the GT3s, we did say if it was 25% of the cars, we would reset the server. And obviously, with one of the championship contenders, if any of the championship contenders, no matter which driver it was, we would have probably reset again. We only get this one chance, though, and that is it. And then obviously, some of these drivers are only stand-ins for that time, so they obviously aren't too fussed whether or not if they're racing or not. But obviously, the championship contenders do care, and we will get things underway for our final time for the GT4. It's the penultimate round of the season. A reminder as well regarding the championship, it is Duffin still leading the way in the championship, but he's got a small gap of 18 points ahead of Sky, Schundelmeyer and Jamal Clouden. And obviously the grid is set from the qualifying before, and obviously with two cars not in the session, we will not be seeing them on track either. So a few of the guys do move up a couple of places, but this is it, last chance for these guys. So if anything, this could offer opportunities for some of these guys to possibly win the race, as well as pretty much Skunky High and O'Reilly were pretty much gone up the road. But we'll see what Barrett can do this time around. Can he send it up the inside into turn one? That is the question. But as they work their way through the final chicane, for the GT4s tonight, this is going to be their last run through Zolder. O'Reilly starts on pole with Barrett with him, Clouden in third. Fourth is Sky Schundelmeyer. Fifth will be Sam. Duffin is sixth. Seventh is Harling. DJ Phil is eighth. Raiden is ninth. And S2M Bex at the back of the pack as well. So whatever happens, I will get Matt and Clouden to come in and have a quick chat with them. But once again, we get going. This time it's not two Ginettas, it's a Ginetta and a Mercedes on the front row. Riley from Barrett, who is going to take the corner into turn one. As we get ourselves ready to go racing here at Zolder for the final time in the GT4s this evening, as we now wait for the green light. And we are green here at Zolder, and Barrett and Sky Schundelmeyer going for it at the start, and O'Reilly gets swamped, and Clouden goes into turn one leading this time. So O'Reilly has lost out massively to a few cars, and Sky is going for it. And now you're wondering why we reset the server. This is why, as they're both going at it, and Sky's been pushed out wide by Jamal Clouden. Sky Schundelmeyer, possibly a great opportunity to score some big points here, as does Clouden, as Matthew Duffin sitting in sixth and still stuck behind O'Reilly and Barrett. Sam dropping down the order as well. But a fantastic start from the two championship contenders, and they're going into chicane. Clouden versus Schundelmeyer. Into the chicane they go. Clouden, Schundelmeyer and Barrett all leading your top three at the minute, and O'Reilly's in the fight as well. He'll be very fast come towards the end of this race, and Sam's looking pretty racy himself as well, as DJ Phil drops down the order. Be a top six pretty much together, and Sky looking for an opportunity to go underneath Clouden, and he's got to run. He's up the inside, and he's going to try and get the job done, but Clouden runs wide. He needs to stay away from the wall. He manages to do so, and Barrett and O'Reilly work their way through. Duffin on the inside of Clouden now, so race leader for a minute, and he's lost out here. And I think Clouden's gone a little bit wide as well. Yes, he has, and he's lost out to Duffin. So your race leader has dropped from the lead down to fifth, possibly sixth now, because he's under pressure from Sam. And Barrett now back into the lead of the back into second, and Sky Schundelmeyer now leading the race. And sets the fastest lap of the race as well. So Sky probably sitting there thinking, oh, you know what, actually this reset has benefited me, if anything. So Sky leads the way now from Barrett, from O'Reilly. Duffin in fourth place. Now Duffin doesn't want Sky to score too many points here. He's going to try and stick to the back of him as much as he possibly can. Just making sure the weights are all still in place. Yes, they are. As Sky tries to make a gap now from Barrett, from O'Reilly, from Duffin, from Clouden, from Sam, from Holling, from Esteban Burbex, DJ Phil, and then Raiden at the back of the pack. And Sky now still leading the way, but Barrett starting to bring that gap back down. O'Reilly still with him, and Clouden has no answer at the minute. He's just got no pace whatsoever compared to the guys in front. As they all work their way through the chicane, Sky Schundelmeyer starting to lose a little bit of time. This is the weight starting to kick in now. As you can see, Barrett and O'Reilly with a much lighter car, able to stick to the back of him, and also with them being able to slipstream one another. But O'Reilly with a great exit out of the hairpin. This is going to set him up beautifully for the chicane. Now, if Riley gets past Barrett, Schundelmeyer will have to start looking over his shoulder, and I think Sky's got deep in the chicane. Yes, he has. Barrett's there with him. So now Barrett looking to attack Sky Schundelmeyer up into turn one. So Barrett now looking to the outside of turn one. So Sky Schundelmeyer goes into turn one, and Barrett can't find a way through. O'Reilly goes with him, sets fastest lap. Clouden now sticking with him as well, and still Sam, Holling, and the rest of the guys still working their way through. But Sky under some pressure, but Barrett is too busy defending for his position. So Sky has a breather. O'Reilly looking for a position. And Sky's on the gravel. He's made a mistake. Barrett's going to go to the outside. And Barrett will get the position. O'Reilly not far enough alongside. And Clouden and Matt just get a little bit close there as they manage to work their way through the chicane. So Barrett now leads the race from Schundelmeyer, from O'Reilly, from Duffin, from Clouden, from Sam. And Esteban Burbex is catching Holling in the background. There you see the Genetic catching the Porsche. Can he do anything about him? DJ Phil's not a million miles away behind either. But still, the top six, very good racing here. Barrett, I think, went a bit deep there into the hairpin. The camera's going to take a while for it to pan round. I know he managed to collect it and keep it together. But Barrett going into the chicane now with Sky right there. O'Reilly as well. Duffin and Cloudon's coming back at Duffin. So as it stands, I'm going to just keep an eye on the championship contenders and what will be happening regarding weight as well. So at the minute, Duffin in 4th. Schundermeyer with 2 and Cloudon in 5th. What that would do to the tables is Duffin would still lead, but only by 9 points to Sky. Schundermeyer, Cloudon will lose out at this stage. He'll be 22 points behind. But Sky really wants as many points as he could possibly get and is now back onto the rear end of Barrett. Meanwhile, Holling is still trying to defend from S2M Borobex right behind him, but he can't find a way through at this stage. O'Reilly has fastest lap as well. So if Sky can nick fastest lap, that's another point to his name. This will go right down to the wire come the final race of the season at Valencia. Into the hairpin they go. Barrett still leading the way. As you see here, Holling and S2M Borobex coming to the hairpin. Camera's really terrible, so I've decided to go to a different camera just while they go through that sector. And once again, the Mercedes grunt helping out Barrett as they go into the chicane. He's doing a great job of absorbing all this pressure from pretty much 6 cars. Barrett sent fast as that, but O'Reilly then goes quicker again, and he's now onto the back wing of Sky Schundermeyer. Oh, Duffin had a slide by the looks of things there. Just looked like, I looked at his camera and he was still turning, so I don't think he's just losing a little bit of grip behind the cars ahead. But O'Reilly started to put some pressure onto Sky, and again, I don't think Matt's too bothered about being in the position he's in. He'll still gain points on Jamal Cloudon, but he will lose out to Sky, and we know how quick that Aston Martin is. Into the chicane they go. Tracy in the sat saying, come on, Sky. And Sky's really starting to put pressure on Barrett, and Sky needs to clear him. He needs the points, really, to really give Matthew Duffin a headache going into Valencia. And S2M Borobex has done Holling. Holling has dropped way off, actually. Holling's dropped right to the back of the pack. And DJ Phil is putting S2M Borobex under some pressure here. We go back to your lead in 6, though. Barrett doing a fantastic job of reenacting the trolley train. And O'Reilly, once again, putting the pressure on Sky. And Barrett's made a mistake. That's given the door open to Sky Schundermeyer. He's up the inside and through back into first place. O'Reilly, though, is going to probably go with him, but Barrett's going to try and defend the inside. Duffin not close enough to really get involved in this as they go into the first corner. Barrett's going to send it up the inside, and he's just going to get alongside O'Reilly, but they don't make contact, thankfully. And O'Reilly up into second after Barrett's mistake in the final corner. Sky now leading the race. What would that do considering the championship? It would bring the points down to 4 points in the championship if it finished here, between Matt leading and Sky Schundermeyer in second. But Matt sent it on Barrett, and Barrett's gone off. Is Matt waiting for Barrett? Barrett's in the wall and not moving. He's got going. But Duffin now dropping behind Sam and Cloudon. So now Matt drops to 5th. And once again, the championship changes again. Once again, the championship changes. And Sky and Matthew Duffin would be level on points going into the final race of the season. But O'Reilly's pushing right now, and Clouden gets within 10 points of the championship. If it finished here, that would be the championship standings. Matthew Duffin, though, would he want to get past Sam? That is the question. Can he get past Sam? That's the other question. He might have a little bit of damage. We are halfway through this race, and Sky is still leading the way. O'Reilly is in second. And as they work their way through sector 1 into turn 2, Sky still leading at this stage. But O'Reilly really putting the pressure on. Sky's doing everything he possibly can. Matt's pushing as well, as DJ Phil is trying to catch Esteban Burbex, and Holling has got past Raiden. So Raiden gaining some points there. Matt's had a moment over the chicane, but O'Reilly still can't find a way through on Sky Schundelmeyer. I tell you what, this reset has actually spiced up even more. With Jamal Clouden able to carry on racing, Duffin dropping down the order. It's going to be interesting. Again, would Duffin want to try and pass Sam? Up towards the chicane, they come. Sky still hanging in. He's got 8.5 minutes to go, and all he has to do is put that Aston Martin in the right place. The Aston should, in a straight line, have the advantage, and as long as he just puts it in the right places. O'Reilly looks to the outside of turn 1. Sky, one of the great racecrafts of SimPlay Motorsport, trying to hold up O'Reilly as best he can, but no weight on board that Ginetta. And O'Reilly's having to look everywhere for a way through, but he can't find it at the minute. O'Reilly looks to the inside. He's got to run. And breaking into turn 3. And O'Reilly gets the position, but he runs wide, makes a mistake, and Sky gets another opportunity. Straight line advantage to the Aston, and he's going to brake later. Sky Schundelmeyer takes the lead back. This is a champion's drive from Sky right now. And like I said, O'Reilly has nothing to worry about. All he wants to do is win this race. Barrett, meanwhile, has stayed well ahead of the guys behind. But Clouden now takes fastest lap of the race. So that spins another change in the championship. That's a point for Clouden. And again, that would bring Clouden within 9 points going into Valencia, between the guys in the lead, which should be Sky and Matt, level on points. I said the GT4s are going to be exciting and fun, and boy do they bring the excitement. Sky has got 7 minutes left to hang on to this lead, and O'Reilly has only got 7 minutes to figure out how to beat him. Sam now is putting pressure on Clouden. And Clouden needs to stay ahead of Sam if he wants any possible chance in this championship. But Sky driving for his life here, driving for the win, driving for the championship. We could all look back here to this race, this Zolder race, to determine what happened in the championship. Maybe some of the drivers won't be happy with us, the admin team, for resetting it. Maybe they will. Who knows? But either way, Sky is doing everything he possibly can. Clouden under pressure from Sam. Duffin quite happy in 5th there at the minute. He's not in any rush to try and catch the guys in front, or is that just his pace? Barrett 6th, Esteban Burr 7th, Green in 8th, Holling 9th, and Raiden in 10th. But Sky Schundelmeyer, if he wins this race and goes on to win the championship, he'll look back to this older race and think that was the ultimate defense he could probably put on. He just needs to park the car on every apex. He just needs to get the perfect traction zones every time. but O'Reilly's waiting for that mistake, and Sky is not allowing that mistake to happen. O'Reilly's just there. Excuse me, my voice has started to go. But O'Reilly, that Ginetta is so good in the corners, but struggles in a straight line. Meanwhile, Clouden is under some immense pressure here from Sam. Clouden cannot afford to lose this, and Riley takes the lead back in the point in the fastest lap. Sky and O'Reilly are pulled away from these two. Sam's looking up the inside of Clouden, but thinks better of it. And O'Reilly's run a little bit wide going through turn 3. Tracy probably can't believe what's going on right now. Closing her eyes every time O'Reilly has a look up the inside. Sam, meanwhile, was pressurising Clouden. Clouden makes the mistake through the chicane. But Sky Schondermeyer, through the chicane he goes. Sky Schondermeyer down into the hairpin once again. He goes a little bit deep, I think, there, but he manages to collect it. Sky and O'Reilly drivers of the day, says Tracy. They're definitely putting on a sterling job. I think all the drivers who returned drivers of the day for me. But O'Reilly and Sky Schondermeyer still going at it. You could say Clouden and Sam as well. And I think Duffin's made a mistake. So Duffin's made a mistake somewhere, and he's dropped behind Barrett now. Talk about throw another spanner into the equation. So Duffin now dropping back to 7th. Sorry, 6th. Yeah, sorry, he's 6th. What would that do for the points? That would mean Sky Schondermeyer would go into it 4 points ahead of Duffin, and Clouden would only be 6 points behind. So will Duffin want to catch Barrett? That's the question. Or has he allowed him through? Is Matt thinking he wants less weight going to Valencia? It would have been interesting to know what we would have done if both of them were on the same amount of points. Would they both carry the full weight? As O'Reilly looking for an opportunity again, but can't find it in the hairpin. The Aston Martin's got enough of a straight line advantage. Is Matt playing the statistics here? Does he want 35 kilos? Sky carrying 40 kilos. Clouden will only have 30. So Clouden would be in the advantage as it's all still close. Clouden bouncing over the curb there, but Duffin making no effort to catch Barrett. I think he's decided to hold there and hold the 35 kilos going into Valencia. It would help him for the Ginetta in a straight line, but not by much. Sam still no real threat to Clouden now. Clouden seems to pull that gap. And O'Reilly still can't find a way through. Sky's doing everything right at this stage. And O'Reilly's still looking for an opportunity, but he just doesn't have the confidence on the brakes. There's a possible opening there. And once again, Sky shuts the door clean shut on O'Reilly, and he can't find a way through. And once again, because of this speed, they've all slowed right up, and that's allowed Clouden once again to get back onto the guys in front. There's a poll going up for driver of the day. Get your votes in now. O'Reilly really got pacey, top pace. Yes, he does. And obviously, he'll be going to Valencia with no interest in the championship. He'll want to go out flat out. But once again, Sky Schundermeyer is holding him off. This has been the ultimate defense from Sky. To be honest, I'm kind of glad we reset the server. I don't care what any of the drivers said. This has been a fantastic race and a fantastic job from Sky Schundermeyer. A champion's drive if he could just hang in there. He's got 2/3 a lap to go. O'Reilly's had a great run through that sector. Sky's holding the inside, holding, and into the chicane they go. Sam's attacking Clouden. No, Sky's made a mistake. Sky has lost the position to O'Reilly. O'Reilly takes the lead of the race with just half a lap to go, but Clouden's going to get a pressure from Sam. The championship changes once again, but Sky, what a defense, but sadly he's going to lose out right at the very end. Duffin, meanwhile, has dropped right off the pace. He is not interested in getting in front of Barrett whatsoever. So once again, the championship changes, and O'Reilly comes into the final corner now. O'Reilly put on a strong attack, a strong push to Sky in the end, but O'Reilly wins. Schundermeyer second, Clouden third, Sam in fourth, Barrett will finish in fifth, Duffin is going to finish in sixth, I think. But O'Reilly, oh, Holling and DJ Phil will come together right at the end there. What is Duffin doing? Duffin's giving away more points. Or has he got damage? Duffin's got damage. And he can't stop the car. But either way, it is going to be Assetto and Borobex crossing in fifth. Duffin will finish in sixth. DJ Phil will finish in seventh. And then it's going to be Raiden and Holling in those final few positions as well, as I will get that put into the tables now. And Duffin there, looking like he didn't want to win that one. But either way, O'Reilly taking the win and fastest lap as well. And I will try and get these done as quickly as I possibly can. But yeah, we'll try and get an update on the championship standings as soon as possible. Borobex getting that 6th place in the end. I think it's just then Barrett who finished 5th. And DJ Phil who finished 8th in the end. I think that is that. And then we'll just update the championship tables.
Green light. Show them what you got.
Right. I can't remember how to do this now. If Matt is listening, I would quite like him to join in the commentary box. No, that's not done that right. I'm going to leave that. I have no idea how I'm doing this. I can't remember how to do it. No, that one. That's it. Now I know what I'm doing. Okay, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I am trying to remember how to do the spreadsheet. There we go. Right. Took me a while, but it is going to be... There we go. So the championship standings look like this. Matt, if you're able to get into the commentary box, please, I would like to have a chat going into Valencia. And Schundermeyer, I will get Sky doesn't tend to chat in here anyway. So get Cloud in here. But get your votes for driver of the day. I'm actually going to give driver of the day to Sky for that amazing defensive drive. Just lost it at the end. Regarding the championship standings, though, it looks like this. It is Sky Schondermeyer leading the way. He has now got 40 kilos going into Valencia, and he's 2 points ahead of 2 points ahead of Matt in the championship, who will have 35 kilos as well. Clouden is going to be in third in the championship. He's going to have 30 kilos, and he's only 5 points off in the championship. Beasley and Esteban Burbeck's up into fifth place. He's still mathematically in it. All these guys are still mathematically in it, but unlikely. But it's Beasley in fourth. Fifth is Esteban Burbeck. Sixth is Tim Vensink. Seventh is Mulder. Eighth is Sam, still mathematically in it, but will be out sooner or later. Holling is in ninth, and 10th is O'Reilly. And I'm just going to. Was that just changed for some reason? Okay, ignore that. Beasley is still in the chance for the championship. It's pretty much down to the top three. We will start quickly with Matthew Duffin. The reason I've got both of you, especially you, Matt, obviously you didn't get on the podium. Basically, we go into Valencia. This is really the only championship that you're fighting for. First things first, was that a deliberate slowdown, or did you genuinely have issues towards the end?
Deliberately slowed down to let Barrett through because we had her coming together and he ended up off. The one at the end, tyres had just ballooned to a couple of PSI high on the rear. I don't think it loaded the correct setup. And I was just struggling. Hit the dip at the second chicane, got a bit of damage. And then it was just loose as fuck on the rear. Oh, sorry, excuse my language.
Professional commentator.
Professional commentator right here, I know, right? And then it was just loose on the rear. And what I didn't realise is when trying to save it, I turned my section control to 0 and then caught it to 9. So it went all loose and then all stable. And yeah, disappointing race too. I was planning on letting Barrett through if I couldn't catch Sam and Clouden, and they'd started to pull away. So yeah, ballast hurt tonight. It was a bummer, but look, we go again at Valencia, and with the looks of that table, obviously depending on tickets, obviously that's provisional result. We'll see what standings are like.
Yeah, obviously we go to Valencia next, and like I said, we're talking very much the championship, and like I said, I want to have a chat with all you guys, pretty much going into the final race of the season. Valencia is a circuit; it's a bike circuit. There's a lot of corners, which will obviously help the Ginetta, but the corners are very strung out from one another. So the BMW and the Aston will look strong in a straight line. Obviously, with you now going into the final race, not as championship leader, you will not have the 40 kilos. You'll be 35 kilos instead. Yeah. What is the chances of the championship? You're going to be asking a lot. It's going to be difficult, but just give us your thoughts going into the last race of the season.
I think I'm in the weaker core of the three that's going into that championship fight. I think that's been obvious all season. It's going to be difficult, but you know me, I will leave nothing out there next week. You know, there will be door banging, wheel rubbing. It will be touring cars, gloves off, Jason Plato, Matt Neal-esque from me next week, because you know me, I want to win as many championships as I can. I've won one race this season, which I'm pretty disappointed at myself about. You know, I feel like I should perform at a higher level. So it's gloves off, go for it. Yeah, like you say, the Ginetta's going to struggle in them straights, and it's a bit like Zandvoort, except like you said, the corners are a bit more spaced out. And I thought that Ginetta was hooked at Zandvoort, so we're going to look to go again next week. I feel the straights, bar the start straight, are good enough where they can gain a tenth or two, and that's possibly it. And then we can look to gain through the corners. But yeah, 5 kilos lighter than Tibbs, heavier than Clouden. I don't think Jamal's won a race this year, which I'm surprised at, but I do want to shout out Jamal, by the way, because race 1, man, what an absolute scrap. I understand why you're enjoying racing him on a Thursday night, because he's a pleasure to race. Reminds me a lot of D Biggs, very clean driver. You can go wheel to wheel with him. And yeah, race 1, we went wheel to wheel for 3 corners, man, and you know, and we scraped paint a little bit coming down into the braking zone of the final chicane, but it was nothing. You know, the guy is just a pure racer, and it was an absolute honour, Clouden, and a pleasure to race you. And I think that's the first time we've probably gone wheel to wheel. And you know, the pressure's on this man, because and you know this, Dan, from multiple championship wins yourself. What does he want to win? You know, do you want to come away next week with potentially 2 championships in his back pocket, or is he focused on GT3s? Is he focused on GT4s? It's what does this man want to win? You know, so you know he's got more pressure than me and Tibbs. I think Cloudon's got more pressure than me and Tibbs because of the fact that he's fighting you in GT3. But gloves off next week. You know, there's no friends next week. It's gloves off, race to the end, and then we can all have a beer after.
Nonetheless, mate, congratulations tonight on a great race. And I'm kind of glad the circuit got reset because it did bring us some awesome racing in that second race. So best of luck going into Valencia for next week, and I'll be in the commentary box with you again tomorrow night for the Pro-Ams. And we'll now have a quick catch up with Cloudon. And Cloudon, that BMW looked like a handful tonight, especially with the weight on board, but how are you feeling after that? You got a third after the reset, even though it looked like you got disconnected. You got back into the server and got a second chance at it. But, boy, that was a scrap tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I have to admit, it was just a stressful race. That ballast was killing me. I mean, it was stable, but again, just on the braking, it was just an absolute handful. Again, as Matt said, race 1, best battle I've had so far. Again, massive shout out to him. Race 2, again, I was just struggling. I was just struggling out there. I was just trying to maintain my pace, trying to stick with the front runners. But yeah, look forward to Valencia next week.
Valencia is next. It's a big open circuit, a lot of straights as well, which will benefit the BMW. Even with the weight on board, it still looks like the strongest car in a straight line. How are you feeling going into Valencia? And also, as Matt said, you've got 2 championships that you're fighting for, one against Matt and one against myself, obviously, and Sky as well. Which are you honestly focusing more on? Because I feel like it's probably the GT3s that you're putting more time and heart and soul into.
To be honest with you, I'm focusing on both. Yeah, there is a little bit of pressure there, but not too much. I am focused. I make sure that I just try to find a balance between both classes. But again, as Matt said, gloves are off, no friends. I'm literally coming for everybody next week for sure. GT4s and GT3s.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first. He's coming for everyone. Cloudon, obviously, you look forward to the GT3s this week at Zolder. How are you feeling around here? The McLaren, not the best at running curbs, but nonetheless, I've seen a couple of practice sessions, and the McLaren's still looking quite confident around here.
Again, Zolder is one of my strongest tracks on the calendar. I do like it. For me, the McLaren is very suited here. Again, with the curbs, yeah, it is a bit of a struggle, but everywhere else, the McLaren is definitely strong. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Can you do it? Can you do 2 from 2?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Nonetheless, mate, congratulations on a great night's worth of racing, and I'll see you on track on Thursday night, and well done on the 3rd place in that race.
Thank you very much.
And that is it, guys. That is it. Cloudon is going for 2 championships, but it is Sky Schondermeyer leading the way in the championship. He is 3 points, only 2 points ahead of Matthew Duffin, and he's only a further 5 points ahead of Cloudon. It is that close going into the final race of the championship. Sky will carry 40 kilos, Matt will carry 35, and Cloudon 30 kilos. It is all to play for at Valencia, but we still got more action to come this week. We got the Pro-Ams hitting the track tomorrow night. It is the fight between the 2 BSP teammates of Tim Venting versus Max Mulder, who's going to come out on top in the teams in that one. And then we return back to the Pro Championship, where it's Overtaker versus myself and Cloudon for the championship. Who is going to come out on top of that one? And then we head to a brand new circuit here at SimPlay Motorsport. We head to Valencia for the home of Valentino Rossi, who is going to be champion in the GT4s, the Pro-Ams, and the Pros. You'll find all that out here all next week, as myself, Matthew Duffin, and PN Motorsport will give you all the action. And please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified, and make sure you have a look at our sponsors as well in the description. Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. I've been Dan Davis. This has been a pleasure commenting on the GT4s, and we shall see you all in a week's time at Valencia for the final race of the season for GT4s. But for now, we'll see you tomorrow for the next round of Pro-Ams. Good night.